High in the frozen Arctic lies Greenland. Remote and majestic, it covers an area more than 4 times the size of France. Yet Greenland, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark, is one of the most sparsely populated places on the planet. It has a population of just over 50,000, the vast majority of who live in the capital, Nuuk. The geographical realities of this land has meant that sporting pursuits haven't always been high on the list of priorities here. But that's not to say that this place is a sporting black hole. In the latest of our reports from Greenland, we turn our attention to snowboarding. And in particular, the teenager who's leading the way here. This is Mathias Mark. He's a multiple Greenlandic and Danish champion, and in the years ahead, the 18-year-old is aiming to make an impact on the wider international stage.
For me, snowboarding means to be free, to be myself. When I'm riding, I'm caught up in the moment, in the present, and I forget about everything else. I don't think about any problems I may have. They just disappear when I'm snowboarding. It's hard to put into words, but I would say snowboarding means so much to me that if I were to die whilst on my board, then I'd die happy.
Mathias took up snowboarding at the age of 12. He proved a natural on the board and soon established himself as one of the best riders in his homeland, winning his first Greenlandic title in 2011. He practices almost every day, weather permitting, at a facility in Nuuk.
Snowboarding is quite a young sport here in Greenland. It's still quite new to many people, so we're just trying to grow the sport and attract more people to it. We want to encourage as many youngsters as possible to come out and have fun on their boards. That is what snowboarding is all about, and that's what we're trying to show. We want people to see that when you snowboard, you have fun and feel part of one big community, united by love of snowboarding.
Mathias specializes in the slopestyle discipline, in which riders execute a variety of freestyle maneuvers down a course filled with features such as rails, tabletops, and a multitude of jumps. Riders are judged on their use of the course, landings, and execution.
My biggest strength as a rider is definitely my ability on the rails. On top of that, I would say that I'm also relaxed when I'm competing, and that's a good quality to have as well. But I know that I need to work a lot more on my jumps if I'm to participate in big international competitions against some of the leading snowboarders. I need to improve on that side of things.
There are no big jumps nor half-pipes in Greenland, so Mathias does find it hard to develop in that aspect of the sport. However, he's part of a program called Elite Greenland, which gives funding to the top athletes here so that they can attend training camps abroad. It was whilst at a camp in Norway last year that Mathias suffered a serious injury. Trying to perfect a jump, he landed awkwardly and broke a bone in his lower back, which kept him out of action for 3 months. It was also last year that Mathias claimed his 4th successive rail jam title at the Danish Snowboarding Championships. With Greenland not being an independent nation, Mathias represents Denmark at international competitions, and he hopes to compete for them at the Winter Olympics one day.
If I was to get the chance to take part in the Olympics, then I would grab that opportunity with both hands. It would be such a big honor to represent a country there and be part of such a big event. At the moment, that is something I am working towards. I would love the chance to compete on the biggest sports stage of all.
One event in which Mathias can compete for Greenland is the Arctic Winter Games. This competition takes place every 2 years, and the 2016 edition was recently staged in Nuuk. 9 regions of the Arctic are represented at the Games. There are teams from Canada, the United States, Russia, Norway, Finland, Sweden, and Greenland. Mathias took silver in the rail jam event.
It's great having the 2016 Arctic Games here. We've enjoyed being hosts and organising events for a lot of people from all over the Arctic region. But most of all, it's great to be able to represent Greenland in competition.
For many youngsters, growing up in Greenland can be tough. There's the extreme weather, a sense of isolation from the outside world, and high levels of unemployment and alcoholism. Sadly, Greenland also has the highest suicide rate in the world, with some figures stating that as many as 1 in 4 people here will attempt suicide. The problem is particularly acute amongst male teenagers. It's been called an epidemic, and one which Mathias is all too familiar with. His older brother killed himself not so long ago.
Suicide is a big taboo subject here in Greenland. I don't know why it happens, but there must be a reason behind all the deaths. It's a problem that we feel we don't know how to solve. It's like we really want to get to the bottom of it and solve the problem, but at the same time it's a subject that is still a huge taboo, and it's difficult for us to talk about it. But we need to talk about it more. It's important not to feel alone. You need your family around you. You need your friends around you. Sport can help. It can make people feel that they're not alone. You always feel better if you talk about your problems with others. We have to find a way to talk about what is bothering us.
Mathias was born and raised in Nuuk. He was adopted at birth by Ulla and Helen Mark. The teenager is in his final year of high school. After that, he plans to take a year or 2 out from his studies to concentrate full-time on snowboarding and try to make an impact on competitions in Europe and America.
He has a lot of sponsors on board and plenty of people who believe in his ability. My son has great potential and he has to follow his dream. He has the full support of his family and we're encouraging him all the way. I know how much he loves snowboarding and what it means to him.
As a result of his increasing success in his sport, Mathias has seen his profile grow in his homeland, and he's become something of a role model for many here.
There's no doubt that we have a number of social issues here in Greenland. We have our problems like everywhere else. But since we're a small society with little cities, the social problems are magnified and a lot more visible. The young generation here need role models. It's important to have people to look up to, and Mathias is certainly someone who fits that bill.
With his talent and drive, Mathias looks set to make his mark on the snowboarding world in the years ahead.
There are many great competitions around the world that I hope to be a part of. I want to show a positive image of Greenland to the rest of the world. I want to travel and experience other cultures and make friends along the way. We only live once, so we have to make the most of the time we have.